We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, and 1410 KERI. Our guest by phone, Sonny Thompson, star of Marilyn Forever Blonde. Marilyn, Sonny, you know, it's funny.
Oh, you're very nice.
Well, I have to tell you, seeing you on stage twice and meeting you afterwards, I can remember, I was a kid when she passed away, but I can remember Marilyn Monroe and the effect she had on us. And you remind me of Marilyn Monroe to a T. I mean, it's incredible seeing you up there on stage, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that play to anybody who's a Marilyn Monroe fan.
Yeah, but stay away from pills.
Yeah, stay away from the pills. Was she a victim of her own fame?
Yeah, I think she was. I think as much as she wanted it, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Be careful what you wish for, you know?
Yeah, amen. Boy, we all know that in life.
Mm-hmm.
Marilyn had a terrible relationship with men. It seemed like she was always with a different man, and they all treated her with disrespect and used and abused her. Why do you think that happened?
Well, I think the reason that she was with different men and she was promiscuous was for two reasons. One, it started early on in her career where she, you know, that's the corporate ladder in Hollywood. Back in the day, that was the corporate ladder. If you wanted to get ahead, you slept around. And we talk about that in the play. In her words, you know, she says, well, nobody could ever get cancer from sex. You know, I mean, for her, that was just, you know, the means to the end. So that was how that worked, you know, and no apologies, no playing the victim. This is what it takes. I think that was her stance on that. And I think that, secondly, I think when she was reaching for love with different men, I really believe that it maybe stemmed psychologically from not ever having that father figure, not ever, and searching for that sense of, grasping for that sense of love anywhere, you know, it's a constant desperation. And men, you guys know that, you know, if a girl is so clingy and she's just desperate, you know, if she comes off desperate, even if it's Marilyn Monroe, that's a little bit more than you probably bargained for if it happens too quickly, you know. And so that's probably a lot to deal with, you know. So I think, in my opinion, it really stems from a need of love, you know, whether it be to the end being fame or just love for love's sake, and which we all need, you know.
You know, I want to add something to that. I think part of it, though, in her case is she was going out with the wrong kind of guy for what she needed. You know, I mean. Well,
I think she did go out with the right couple. I think she got it right a couple of times. I often think that if Johnny Hyde hadn't died,
yes,
things may have turned out a little different. Her agent, her Hollywood agent, who really, we probably wouldn't know who she was if it wasn't for Johnny Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe things would have turned out different because he really cared for her and loved her and understood her insecurities and was powerful enough and strong enough within himself to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Joe DiMaggio, Joe Shank, Harry Cohn, Arthur Miller, the Kennedy brothers. I mean, it goes on and on with this woman.
Well, you know, again, she was looking for the love and respect. You know, why do you think it was, Sonny, she never got the respect from Hollywood that she was trying to get?
Well, I think she was hard to work with. You know, when you've got 50-plus people on a set waiting, and the monetary ticker is just it's just going by the second. I mean, it's going up by the second, and she's not showing up. That's rough. You know, and that's tough to deal with. You know, I mean, producers and movie producers have a budget. There's you got to come in at everything else is probably going to go over budget anyway. But when you just have somebody sitting on the clock, and just because somebody just isn't showing up because she's basically too insecure, or she's having to overcome that. She's creating Marilyn. She's getting it up. She's doing, she's getting ready, or she's just sick that day, or she just decides, not to show up, or to honor. There was a movie called The Pink Tights, and she just married Joe DiMaggio, and she hated the movie. She did not want to do it, and Joe said, "Just don't show up.
Oh, jeez.
Just don't go."
Yeah, horrible
And
advice.
she didn't. They went to New York.
Yeah.
She just
horrible.
didn't show up, period. What are they going to do? And she ended up running the studios, but they weren't happy about that. In her own way, she was running things.
Well, when you've got 200 people that they're paying sitting there waiting, and you're 2 hours late, that's a lot of payroll and a lot of costs. We're having
On a movie set, how many people is that?
Yeah, yeah.
People get mad fast,
You bet. We're having a conversation with Sonny Thompson, star of Marilyn, Forever Blonde.
Sonny, I have a few questions. I'll throw them together so you can just talk for a minute. But how long have you been doing Marilyn, and where are you going next, and do you have a website?
Yes, the website is MarilynForeverBlonde with an E.com.
You gave it to us before. Thank you.
We are going to. I'm working on a recording project right now, so I'm actually kind of going to go back and forth between New York for a minute and just kind of work on that project. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with at the moment, and we're hoping that turns out to be something wonderful. We'll see. And but Argentina in September, it looks like they're still putting it all together, but. I don't have any final details I can share with that, but hopefully, I've never been to Argentina, but I would really very much like to go. So that'll hopefully be in the works.
How's your Spanish?
Muy bien. Bueno, I couldn't learn it. It's been asked many times, could I learn the play in Spanish? And the truth is, it was hard enough to learn in English. So I don't think it would translate anyway. Marilyn in Spanish, I don't know.
Yeah. How long do you think you're going to keep on doing it? I mean, you're fantastic at it. You're really good at it.
I keep thinking, okay, well, this will be the last year, but it just keeps coming up, and I'm starting to dabble in my other projects, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy directing. I directed a couple shows last year. And so I get to still dabble in my other little projects, and when we can present Marilyn in such a way that it's a really good situation, which El Portal was terrific, and the theater management was so excited about it and so supportive that then I'm always excited to go out and do it again.
Well, two special people in my life are here listening in the studio, Lori and Missy, and we all went to see you that night at the El Portel, and that was a great show. One of the things that surprised me is
a great graduation present too, as I recall.
Oh, good memory. That's right. It was somebody's high school graduation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marty's.
Marty's. Yeah. Yeah. The 12th grade was the 5 hardest years of my life. But I was surprised at how many groups there were. Or there was a group of people from all over the world that had shown up for that show.
Yeah, well, that was the initial part of going to El Portal. Was that was the start of it all. Was there's a fan club, and the fans, the real diehards, kind of belong to all the fan clubs, all the Maryland fan clubs. There's about 5 or 6 of them, I think. And they're pretty well developed. This one's really well developed. A gal out of Minnesota, actually, which we had never met before that night. And Mary Sims, and she has a fan club called Immortal Maryland. And they're very, very active. And they're from all over the world. And they, have become good friends. And they support the play. This is the only thing that the fans have endorsed, which I'm so thankful, and they were the ones on Facebook constantly going, please bring it to the Memorial Weekend in LA.
That was fantastic, Sonny. And unfortunately, we're out of time. Sonny, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm curious to talk to you later and find out what you think of Jim Baker's book.
Oh yeah. Me too. I'm excited to read it. Yeah, we'll have to have a little conversation on that. But thank you so much for coming to see the play once again, and now for interviewing. It's been a delight.
Thank you. We'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.